cook burritos, eggs in the air fryer. Cause the stove's not working. Y'all, I had to wash off all of the, I always wash off all my cans and juices. Hey, I do have some things coming. See that? It has a shimmer. This is one of them that I got. See that? Got a warmer. And I've had this for a while. I've got a lot more, but I'm not showing them yet. So, yeah. I got some stuff coming from TikTok and Sand and Fog actual website. So, I will show those when I get them. Okay? Yeah. See y'all later. Now, I got some hand sanitizer. I have to, you know how when you deal with negative people so much that it starts to get to you. Like for me, it get to me after a while, and I had to. It smells so good. I had to take the day off. I couldn't do it. You know, I have started sneezing. You know, sneezing and coughing a lot and stuff. Yesterday, my head was hurting real bad while I was at work, and that's too because I have to wear headsets, but I can't wear one on this ear, but I do kind of have it, you know, close by right here, and I just had this sharp pain go through my head yesterday when I was on the phone with somebody. But anyway, so the girl had to take a break today. I couldn't take it. You know, after yesterday's experience with somebody, I had to take a break, y'all. I couldn't take it, so I'll be putting up a video again sometime, or this video I might put up for tomorrow, because I didn't do a grocery haul, y'all. And I'll try to remember the next time when I do a grocery haul to set the stuff out. And, you know, because I'm the one that usually has to put everything up, and I wash off all of the cans, drinks, jars, and stuff like that. I wash everything off, put everything up where it go. They pretty much get it from the door. You know, they pretty much put it where I need it, and they help, you know, put up what can be put up. And then, you know, I do the other part. So, like I said, I got that part done, and then, you know, went from there. But anyway, yeah. So I did that part, and I was just checking in. I do have, I think, like a little clip that I had earlier. I'll probably put that clip in the beginning. It'll be at the beginning or the end of this video, somewhere in there. But other than that, y'all, I'm not doing anything. I haven't started on it. I have not been able to start on my journals yet because I was trying to wait till I can get another computer myself. I can get a laptop and a camera, and it was like as soon as I start, you know, kind of getting to where I have that break in there to do, because we got hit. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pay on my tithes and offers. I know they said put that first, but you know, in reality, if it's not enough to do all of that, you're sacrificing people being able to, you know, file charges and things like that. And it's like, who's going to really come run to your rescue? You know, if it gets to that point, if you're not paying your debts, if you're not paying your bills that you owe, So right now, I'm going through a company called Green Path, and I'm using them to help me with the two incidences that happened when I got in the apartment in Pearland and the house in Houston. So with those two on me, I have a whole different route that I'm pretty much gonna have to go through. As far as moving out of here and for my family, for me and my family, and our future. So, but anyway, I'm having to pay like $300 and some dollars to them every month, and then I have a loan company that I'm trying to pay back, and until we get the loan company down low enough to pay them off, then they'll be paid off. We'll be pay them off in cash, So we got to get that. We got to get that point. We're not there yet. So we haven't been able to get her transportation, so she's still been Ubering to work, and thank God I do work from home, So, but right now we are all under attack. So if y'all don't mind, praying, send a prayer for me and my family. I have two that work outside of the home. One don't live here with us at all, but he been attacked with his job. He's been attacked with personal things. He's been attacked with a lot of, but it was totally out of his control and has happened to millions. I mean, have happened to millions of people. And, just pray for him because, he's still trying to stay strong and be a young man, and just wasn't appreciated, And it happens like that, You find yourself that no matter how good you are, no matter how kind you are, no matter how much you are there for somebody, they won't be there for you. They'll set you up. They'll betray you. They'll do all kinds of things, and it's really sad that you're starting to see that more and more. It's like the more and more, women hold off to be with the right person that carries themselves right until they get them, and once they get that woman or that man about, just flips out. And it's just crazy. It's really crazy, all of the mistreatment comes. That, it's so much so that, I have to stay in prayer because, I don't need you popping up in my sleep, in my dreams and stuff, because I know the same person is still the same person. You may not do a lot of things that you did when I was in your life, but that does not mean that my presence is not going to all of a sudden remind you of all the things you went through. And then you find yourself back doing the same things again. That's usually a lot of people's excuse, you know what I mean? Or whoever they get with. Something you said or did reminded you, of something. And then next day, you back doing this stuff's been so good, y'all, for real. Woo. And it is beautiful and it's heavy. It's just like, God, it's heavy, You don't know when it's empty. It's like you can't hear it, you can't tell. So I'm real careful with this one because, but this will always be mine even if we run out, But probably not because I use stuff and then I'll go and start using something else. So usually I always have something there so it might evaporate after years, but I'm going to try not to use it all, too much, but it's beautiful. But it's not the only one I have. I have perfume even in the storage. Hopefully I'll be getting where I can afford to go get all that stuff out of storage as soon as I can make my mind up. I kind of do have my mind where I want to stay here, I'm in another city. I'm in another city now. Not in Houston, but I'm outside of Houston. But a lot further outside of Houston than what I was when I was in a house in Houston. In the house in Houston, I think it was like, I don't know, that was some little city. But anyway, I plan on that city that was outside of Houston. I plan on trying to find something near and around that city or that city itself. Because I've been trying to figure it out, because it's just so many. It's too many. Houston is just huge. Houston is big. So, any of y'all from Houston, drop in the comments the best locations and areas to, buy land. Not necessarily, I would say raw land, but I'm a little scared of raw land because right now financially, it's not nothing else, it's just financially. That's a lot of money that I don't have. And I'm going to have to go through somebody. So, and there are people that's buying land, and then it's helping you get adjusted, help you get set up and situated. But I don't have friends and family that I know of that or anybody like that on this end. And right now, I'm not trying to connect with people like that. I don't have. I'm just not. My mindset is not there right now. It's business wise. Um, so if it's a little pleasure mixed with business, that's a good thing. That's gonna help me or something like that. That's cool. If it's that, but right now it's not. Right now I'm locked on a 9 to 5. But might as well say 8 hours Monday through Friday, and then sometimes Saturdays. Some Saturdays. So, um, and then in a few months, like around June or July, it was gonna be leaving that and transitioning over. Well, I don't know about me because yesterday we got a little wooger pulled on us, and I had to deal with some little like that internet bullying. Um, I was told that I need to learn how to multitask and basically try to take tests and learn new material, new information in between calls. I can't think like that, I mean, I'm not. I can comprehend, but I can't comprehend on the go. I need to be able to study, and if I'm be constantly taking tests, I don't want to feel like I'm in school. When you're on a job, you're on that job to learn that job, do that job, and that's what you do every day. Excuse me. But when you constantly having to take a test here and there, pop up here and there, just to see if you retaining information, just to see when you doing it over and over, because their lack of wanting to really have the hands on with you and just turn you loose and let you be out there and let you just collect and let you, take, do what you're supposed to do, whatever. It's like, what do we have all these folks over us for? What do we have all these people over us for if there's not going to be anybody that we can really communicate with and ask the question? I just simply asked a question just like another employee was asking a question, but I got a big message back to me that I need to learn how to multitask. Well, nothing said to that person. If it was said off on their side chat. But to me, it was said to everybody could see it. You'd have been told to multitask several times. So you're trying to answer the phone. You're trying to listen and hear what the customer's saying. You're trying to do what you're supposed to do to verify and get them through the security force, to make sure you haven't failed there. And then, because that's your job, and then you're trying to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. Then they got something you're supposed to go by to make sure, because they back here listening or whatever, whenever they pop in and listen or whatever, and then they grade you on that. Then you have to go see what they graded you on. Then you have to respond to them. They want you to thumbs up every time they throw a message out there at you. All that. You got all that action going on in a day. And I got to the point where with the ding 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 and all that whatever, it's starting to make my head hurt. And eyes get blurry, stuff like that. It start affecting my hearing. But I have been listening to like some sound waves or whatever that I put, to hear, and it helps open up my ear because this ear is real bad. It literally started popping open, and I was like, God, look at God. It's like the Spirit lets you know what you need to do. The enemy try to tell you go to somebody that's gonna harm you or lie to you, and there are some things you just don't need to go to them for. You gotta trust yourself. You gotta trust your spirit. When your spirit start telling you to do something or eat something or drink something, you gotta still follow up and look, Google, look, Chat GTP, my best friend. Uh, that's an extension of the Holy Spirit. Extension of God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Chat GTP, another friend. Okay? And get the information that you need and see. And you'll be surprised why you're getting that message, And I have been going through that a lot lately. I mean, I have some. Something that I've been drinking. I've been drinking in a long time, and I start having issues with, a woman. And I start putting that in a bottle of water, and I would let it soak. And it would soak in water, in a bottle of water, and I started drinking that, and I saw that was started helping me more than anything I've taken. And, and I sometimes I put another something in there with it. And I'm not saying what it is, and if that's something that somebody want to know what that is, or whatever, you have to email me and I'll tell you what it is. But I'm not going to put that out there, because I don't want nobody saying I'm trying to be no doctor, they're taking something they can't take, or they whatever, it's just something you can buy in the store. and you use it in your food, you use it in something, some kind of way, and everybody got different ideas, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got ideas, put them down and drop them down in the comments, let me know what you do. Right now, like I said, I had a video where I showed y'all some stuff I am changing, um, the powder that I drink to another different kind, and this kind is with water. I don't want to be using milk for a while, even though I'm using a healthy milk, like, coconut oil coconut milk and, um, maybe almond milk or something like that. I'm changing to something that's just water, so I can see if I'm not getting in any more calories than from the milk. So, and then I've been back to drinking lemon water, and I'm gonna put a little apple cider vinegar. I read something that said add apple cider vinegar in it, and that will help. I'm just rubbing to help the fluids or whatever flow, whatever pressure, whatever in my ear. They say to rub it. So that's why I'm rubbing. I got a habit of rubbing it. Hopefully my jawbone, when I start losing weight, will start coming back in. You know what I mean? To find that face. I do have something for this right here. Could y'all see this? When right before I moved, I started sweating a lot, and losing weight. And then I started, when I was staying in the apartment, having to go up and down them stairs, I started sweating a lot and losing weight. And I think I started looking too fast that, it started showing in here. So I got something coming from TikTok for that. Y'all gonna see that video after a while. Cause your girl, I don't want to hear none of that about no grow old gracefully and all that stuff. No, I am who I am, and I'm not in denial that I am getting older and that my body is changing. I get that part. But you're not gonna make me have to sit up here and just walk around with no cane and all that mess. I'm not gonna give in to that. Yes, I have a back injury. I have back injuries. That's the reason why I have a disability, because of my back injuries. Not because of my mind, not because of nothing else. I have back injuries. My knees can't take where the body is picking up too much weight. So, yes, I'm looking into getting a treadmill. Now, I remember one time I went to therapy, and they had me get on the treadmill, y'all, and I got dizzy. But I was so dizzy. Even though I was dizzy, I saw that spider on that floor. It was a big old huge spider in that place. And ain't that a spider? That girl was like, yeah, but my eyes, I don't know if they were bouncing or my, shaking or what. But I could barely see. I don't know if that, why my equilibrium was off or if that caused that. I don't know. So I am definitely going to have one that got the handles that you can hold on to. And I'll make sure that, when I start out doing, I'll be around family, with somebody here with me. Because like I said, I remember that incident, and I don't want, and they never said why it happened, they never explained what it probably was this, that, whatever, nothing. So, anyway, I do plan on getting a treadmill. But like I said, right now, with that bullying that I had to go through yesterday, and that requirement to pass that test that I didn't. And what was crazy is the question that on the first test, the question, I got it right. And it was the same answer that I put on the second test, but it was wrong. It was the only one that was wrong. So I was like, okay. I can remember enough because I asked to take the 15, do we take the 15 minutes? Because that's, they had a moment that they tell you put yourself in training for 15 minutes. And the other person was asking, do we? And I was like, well, I was asking, do we take it during our break or lunch? And I got the response back, basically that I need to learn how to multitask. And nothing was said to the person that asked, are we in training? Do we put ourselves in training or not or whatever? But anyway, if it was, I never saw it. So anyway, I'm over that part. That was yesterday's old news. By the time y'all see this, it'll be 2-3 days old news. So y'all just pray for me, because like I said, your girl going through it. It's like you don't have to do nothing to nobody. You don't have to. Today, these monitoring spirits just sitting there watching you and just looking for something to get you fired. To just to get you, to say you're not doing it, especially when it comes to security. Stuff like that. Want to start messing with your paper. I had to kind of start getting a rhythm of trying to, get back into paying tithes and stuff, just enjoying that, just enjoying having income to do it. But to find yourself now having to add on something, you know, to be done that has to be done. That's almost $400. This payment that I had to do was almost $400 because I had to also pay a little extra for them to start it up, and then that's going to be coming out every month. I got to work on, you know, we're working on trying to get transportation, so we've got to save and pay cash for transportation. So we're basically trying to find a Honda because they said those are pretty much the best ones between Honda and Toyota. But Honda, you know, because of their motors and stuff like that, Honda and Toyota motors, and then so we're trying to find something like that, like a Honda, you know, a nice Honda. So I'm just trying to see that we done been blessed with it. I gotta look on today. I'm gonna look on the way up at some Hondas, and I think it was specific. I think it was a Honda Civic that she said. But anyway, I'm gonna look at some different Hondas and stuff, and I'm just gonna pray about it and see, you know, where God can bring and bless us with that in the near future, because you know that's a car note really. Uber's a car note. We're thankful for Uber, but for some people, Uber's a car note because people are having to use Uber that much. It's not, you know, to the Uber person, they're just seeing different people, but she done become probably well known with some of them. Praise the Lord, you know, and pray for her and my son, like I said, that on their jobs, you know. She got somebody on her job that, you know, she's a beautiful young girl. She really is beautiful. Um, she, you know, got a lot of education. She's a very smart young woman. And every day now she working with some, you know, she just had to go through. She don't want to necessarily say what it is, you know, but I know bullying, and I know mistreatment. I know that. Been there and done that. And still going through it, and I'm online. I get it. I get working online with, you know, when it comes to social media. I get that there's somebody gonna try to hide behind that little IP address and just, you know, just little devil, just, you know, saying all kind of mean, hateful shit to you. You know, I get that. You know, and apologize to those that don't like to hear that cussing, but you know, that's true. But then you got, and then they play that they Christian, you know, they hide behind the Lord and all that kind of stuff, but they are hateful. They are hateful. And because they can hide behind that IP address, you know, they just doing all kinds of stuff. But anyway, you know, to work, and it's like, Lord, it's not just get on here and do, no. You are more in competition and more in stressed out mode from the people that you're working with than you are necessarily the people that's calling in for assistance. And that's sad. That's sad because you already know why they're calling in. You already know what they're going through. You already should be in the mindset to understand this person's going to be aggravated. They're going to be flustered, frustrated. They're going to be mad as hell. And want you to fix that problem and fix that. And if you can fix it, you fix it. But if you can't, there's nothing you can do. They got to deal with it whichever way they got to deal with it. And some of them don't want to hear that either. But you don't have a choice. You're not going to stay on that phone with them forever. This is what it is. This is how it is. This is the only solution for you. And, you know, and you still learning, and you're struggling to learn because you're being thrown out there so fast. And you're having so much information dumped on you that you're trying to make sense of everything. I still haven't made sense of the first project, y'all. I'm getting ready to go back to that in about 3 or 4 months. About 4.5, 5 months. And I haven't really even had a chance off to really study that stuff. To understand still what I need to understand, because that's the part of something that I do want to become a business. And, you know, and that depends. You know, I don't want to add too much on because, like I said, my baby gonna start. It's you know, and some other people. You know, I hopefully will start ordering my stuff off of spring, and then I might have to have her model my stuff for me. I keep telling her she gonna model my stuff for me, but she keep trying to say she not. But anyway, she probably will. I just have to you know, do it different ways because she not necessarily want to be on no camera. But very beautiful. And hopefully one day I will get her to be on the camera where I can at least get her to model my stuff. It's like, yeah, you know, But I get it. I understand because it's like once people put two and two together, they start meddling. They start being messy. So and that's understandable. My people, kids and people, family members don't want to be on the camera, especially when it's not them. That's not their choice. But anyway, y'all, I done been on here long, 20 some minutes, and um, yeah, y'all. The other day I cooked eggs in the air fryer because the stove don't have those aisle things to put it on, and then the little tray thing that the little aisle sit on, to cook on the electric stove. I don't know. She got to contact them to either bring some or either go when she get away to go to the store and find some and put some on the stove. Cause them things was so nasty. It was a brand new stove. Them people messed them things up. The stove is beautiful. Just same thing as the refrigerator. It was nasty. Y'all know me. I had to do my cleaning because toilets, everything. I had to do all that. I had to do all my cleaning. Uh, I got back problems, yeah, but I know how to sit down and take a breath for a minute. You can't do that on people's jobs. You barely can even get the little 15 minutes and lunch breaks that you get, little 30-minute lunch break and 15 minutes. You get that, but they're gonna make sure if you don't, you lost it. Basically, depending on how late it is in the day, you can forget it. That's on you. But yeah, so I had to do that, and I was gonna get one of the little cooking grills, and I'm kind of trying to already start buying some things so that when I get ready to go into that next phase of life, I already have some things. You know what I mean? I already have because I like watching different, like I guess they call them nomad van lifers or. Some of the van lifers I started watching got trailers now. They some of them that built homes now, and got trailers, but basic homes now, they homes now and everything. So, just seeing that advancement is encouraging. You know, I get excited every time I watch them. But seeing from their beginning videos, the things they use, things they change to, their advice, what to do and all that. So that's why I watch them, so I can learn, so that when I get that ability, and for sure I want to be where I can definitely have the funds already for a storm cellar, because that I am not playing. I got to have me a storm cellar. Yeah. As well as I need somebody with some education about some areas near and around Houston that flood, regardless of the storm, just flood in general. Because if they flood on just a regular rain, you know what they'll do with torrential rain from hurricanes and things like that. So anyway, God moved me for a reason, and I tell you, one day I was ready to sit down in front of the desk to go to work, and that was just a joyful feeling, y'all, when I had that memory for a moment of on that bus leaving. Well, before it was leaving the bus, it was sitting in the vehicle of the man's vehicle that picked us up that day, and just leaving. It was like it's finally happening, because I've been wanting to leave there for a long time, and it was like nothing. The same way when I wanted to leave from where I grew up at. I wasn't born and raised there. I was just born there. I was raised there. And the same thing, I wanted to leave. And no, I can't do them today because I'm gonna go. I gotta go watch something else. So, but anyway, y'all, I different remotes. What was the name? Let me see what the. I'm trying to watch TV. Oh, this is one of somebody strike Dallas. Okay, so they gonna be in Dallas. I'm watching Criminal Minds, y'all. MacGyver went off. The longer you take, the more of a chance somebody get to. That's crazy. I'd have been hopped over behind some. Y'all have been towed, but I'd have hopped over behind some. But anyway, that's evil. That's what I'm talking about. You watching somebody just be evil. But anyway, y'all was watching the Weather Channel because today it's a lot of storms in the area. Not in our area, but further off. Yeah, y'all, I'm working on all this. This is ridiculous. Look at this. It's like, where did this come from? So yeah, I've been exercising. It ain't easy. It is not easy. Woo. It's like, man, I got big guns on me. Yeah. So they're going to Dallas. But anyway, um, so I gotta exercise, y'all. So y'all gonna follow me in my body shape changing. I don't want to necessarily refer to it like losing weight and all that really, but yeah, my body is about to go through a transformation, and I need to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because when your body changes to a point that you just limited, that's not good. And then you get to where I can go back on some kind of therapy, or something. The weather's gonna get bad, I can tell. So I might have to unplug the internet and all that after a while. So that's why I'm going ahead doing my video now. I might wind up having to undo my internet because the last storm we had back in March. I think it was March the 4th on a Saturday or something like that, 2026, that we had a bad storm here. The lightning hit so loud, so close by, and when it hit, it fried the internet box and one of the computers. It took me over a month to get the other computer. I'm still using one computer because that computer acts like it's trying to blink out at times. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I run my mouse down too low or something. How you run your mouse off screen and it'll show something different or whatever. And so I don't know if it's blinking because of that, because by the time it do it, when it does it, my mind is not paying attention on that. I'm having to do other stuff. So that's usually because I am moving my mouse around at the same time too. So I'm kind of thinking that's probably what it is, but it may not be. I don't know. But they finally got me another computer, but it's like we can close to, and then when they pulled that Wooger yesterday, that you got to pass this test or whatever, and I'm like, well, do I need to sign out? She never responded. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I got signed out of the computer, and I had to sign back in. And then I had pages start signing off and stuff, So, like I said, I don't know what that was about. I'm not going to speculate and insinuate, but all I can say is that it is very aggravating, when you ain't done nothing to nobody, you don't know, it's like, we know that when it starts getting low in production, it's going to eventually start being, where we have to get ready to start saying our goodbyes and get ready to start training for something else. We already know that. Y'all already told us that we're not even guaranteed to come back even after we finish this, returning back to where we have to return back to do what we did, last season. So that's still ain't no guarantee. We get that part too. At least I do, So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go and I'm gonna get off of here. And y'all see this video, I try to get it done today, like I said, before the internet go down. And then I'll when all the stuff start coming in, I'll let y'all know, when it come in, and y'all just gonna pretty much see me here for a while. I'll be doing some hauls and things like that or whatever until I'm able to make the next move. And hopefully that next move will be within the next 2 or 3 months. I wish it would be sooner than that, but financially I don't have it. So I know it's not going to be that soon. But I know we do have to make a move within the next 3 to 5 months. We have to. So anyway, y'all be blessed, and y'all don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name is Sherwin, and my video is Sherwin Vibes. I didn't open up. Y'all forgive me if I did not open up, but uh, yes, I love you guys, and welcome to my channel. And y'all don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and shop with me. If you'd like to shop with me, you don't have to. Make sure you leave a comment. You know, say, hey, hi girl, how you doing? You know, start conversating. Don't be shy. Don't be rude, mean, or hateful, but you don't have to be shy. Bless the Lord.